You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
Following live broadcast is recommended by the Imperial Council in the belief that your commitment to remain upstanding citizens will be reinforced. It is required viewing for all members of the Imperial forces.
Time now for
Desert Planet Discs,
brought to viewers everywhere in the hope that our own lives may be uplifted by the comparison and enriched with the gratitude of relief. This transmission is unrehearsed and unedited, and is hereby begun without further comment as to its lack of moral value.
Hello and welcome to this track 29, Tales from the Hashtag Cantina and more of Desert Planet Discs. I am one of your hosts, Carl, and joining me as ever is the inimitable Darth Elvis, aka Greg Robertson. Hello there, sir.
Hot dang. Hello there. Hot dang. How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's all good. Recovered from the dreaded con crud,
Yes.
aka COVID-19.
COVID-23.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Celebration.
The only thing I came home with from Celebration was COVID.
There we go. But opening up the show there, we had the superb Galactic Empire with their version of Rey's theme. which ties into a little story we shall talk about a bit later. But they've got a new album coming out, which that isn't on. That was on their previous album. But the new album called Special Edition is out on May the 5th. So
Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th, indeed. Probably why they've done it then, with their dark side allegiances. But that's out on May the 5th. And looking at their website and social media and some of the videos that have been hitting social media to plug the album, they've got some rather tasty new costumes to go with this album as well. So be sure to check them out. As this episode airs, you will have unfortunately missed the live stream on May the 4th and also a gig they're doing to launch the album. But you can get the album from Pure Noise Records I think it's on some weird coloured vinyl and regular vinyl, CD and things. And, of course, all the usual streaming sites and Bandcamp. So, be sure to check that out and support them because they're very, very, very good at what they do. And yes, the tracks that I think we've played a couple of the tracks from this album already. It's got their version of the Book of Boba theme, Mandalorians theme. It's also got a version of the Obi-Wan theme, which I've not heard yet, but very much looking forward to hearing. So, check them out, support them, and hopefully they were due to play over here last year. June time last year. So hopefully they may venture over to tour in support of this album, and we get to see them in good old Blighty. But if not, if they are coming to a town near you, be sure to go and support them and enjoy. So, since we last spoke to you, our last episode aired on the Friday of a little-known event called Star Wars Celebration Europe.
Indeed, yes.
So, as we were recording, and we knew the episode was going out on the Friday, we were talking about what we'd been up to last night, which was going to Boonta Eve. Obviously, a month or so down the line, we can now tell you all about the goings-on at Boonta Eve, which was very, very much fun. So I know we had one of the sort of brainchilds behind the whole event, Spencer Javits, on the show a couple of months back. So it was great to meet him in person, and a big shout out to him and all the team behind Boonta Eve, because it was a rip-roaring success. If you were lucky enough to get in and get a ticket, hopefully you echo that sentiment. But there was just so much going on. It really was a good kick-off to celebration, and I say a lot going on. So Greg, you were there.
I was there, yes.
Both in your capacity as Greg Robertson, Star Wars fan, and of course your alter ego put in a little bit of a mini appearance, shall we say, with the guys from Blues Harvest.
Indeed, yeah. So I was there with my eldest Elliot. It was his first Star Wars Celebration experience, so he came along to Boonta Eve to kick off proceedings. Which we got there eventually. We got a little bit lost coming off the tube trying to find it. But yes, we got there, and I jumped up on stage with Blues Harvest, and if I remember rightly, I think I played 3 songs maybe. Did some Dagobah, did Sheev Palpatine. I think I maybe did one other one, but my mind is now
very scrambled.
COVID brain having come back from Celebration. But no, it was great audience there, good atmosphere. Like you mentioned, there's a good mixture of things going on. You had obviously the live performance from us, guest signers that weren't at Celebration, the karaoke competition at night upstairs, and obviously you were also podcasting and without me, you dirty.
Yes. So
cheating on me with
Paul Naylor, yeah.
Oh, yes. Come on.
Yeah.
And he's cheating on me as well with performing with somebody else, not the Rancor keepers,
I know. we'll talk about our highlights from Celebration later, but one of my biggest disappointments of Celebration was not seeing the Rancor Keepers live. But there we go.
We did try.
It wasn't particularly warm, so not like Anaheim. But there we go. Yeah. But there we go. But yeah, so if you listen to the episode with Spencer, you will be aware that they held Boonta Eve at a beautiful little, a beautiful venue called the Breakfast Club in London's Canary Wharf. And it was a strange little setup, but split over sort of basically 2 floors, but with also like a little mezzanine area as well. So you'd got the main bar area, which was obviously where the bar was, and that was where Blues Harvest were performing, and obviously where you joined them for a few songs. In the little mezzanine area, you then got some of the signers, including people like Spencer Wilding and mom of Andy Lith, Hazel Lith, or featured extra of the Andor series, and she got some of her very own swag, which was sand from the Cleveleys.
Yeah, brilliant.
So on like a little vintage card back. So that was really cool, and great to see her again. And then on the top floor, you had the sort of the stage area, which during the afternoon was home to the various podcasts. There was Blabber the Hut with Gary and Kate, who did a great, I think it was about an hour or so. Had loads of really cool giveaways, which made me feel quite sort of underprepared. For yes, what myself and Mr. Naylor were hastily called from the subs bench to produce the Fantha Tracks offering, which we're going to dub as No One's Ever Really Gone 2. So No One's Ever Really Gone was a podcast that Paul and Claire did in Chicago, I think it was, back in 2019, where somebody bailed from the podcast stage, didn't turn up for their slot, so they did an impromptu little segment which they didn't record, as far as I'm aware, and so it was just for those in the room. And pretty much likewise, we thought Claire was going to join us. I think I said on the night, it's a bit like that episode of Alan Partridge where he says Roger Moore's on his way and he keeps phoning him. He's going, "Are you there, Roger?" "Yes, I'm just approaching the A41. That is, I'm stuck in traffic." So Claire was due to join us, but they were actually at Celebration doing some of the tech rehearsals for the podcast stages. So checking all that side of things out. So I think she joined us for about the last 15 minutes in the end. But so the poor folks at Boonta Eve had to put up with me and Paul doing what can only be described as a sort of very shonky stand-up routine. Talking about Star Wars and Celebration and trying to whip them up into a frenzy. But there we go.
You do not. There is no try.
Indeed. So anybody that was there can make their own judgment on whether it worked or not. But it was good fun. And as I say, the rest of the evening, a big shout out to the Daft Punk Mandos. I don't know whether you saw those guys there.
I saw them. Yeah.
They were cropping up a lot around Celebration and in some of the videos. I think they actually made the end of Celebration sizzle reel as well. But some very, very, very sparkly jacket action going on. And then the T in the visor sort of with all the flashing lights and stuff in it, very reminiscent of Daft Punk. So, they were very good. And the gentleman involved, and I can't remember his name, again, COVID brain, unfortunately, but he did the karaoke competition in the evening, and did a very, very, very cool rendition of "Creep" by Radiohead.
Oh, nice.
So yes, and his poor wife was fretting somewhat because she said he does that a lot to karaoke nights around by them, but it's a slightly sort of quirky rendition of somebody who basically looks like they're having a mental breakdown on stage, and she wasn't quite sure whether it was going to work, but I think he pulled it off, and certainly the reception seemed to be great for him. So yes, so as we say, hats off to Spencer and the crew. Got my little swag bag with all the Boonta swag, which was really cool. Yeah, and hopefully, if they can pull it off in Japan in 2 years' time, then it will definitely be, I think, one of the events that people will clamour to get tickets for again. So congratulations, Spencer and the team.
Well done, guys.
And everybody over at Virtual Cantina. And solidified our fandom of the event. So
Absolutely. That's our second one, wasn't it? So, yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Celebration, shall we talk about some of the news that cropped up at Celebration?
Was there news?
There was some news at Celebration.
There was. Andor Season 2. Who knew?
Yeah. And they're doing an Ahsoka series, apparently.
Apparently they're doing an Ahsoka series, yeah. And this thing called Skeleton Crew as well.
Oh.
And another series called The Acolyte.
Very true.
Yeah.
Vision Season 2. Bad Batch Season 3.
Vision Season 2.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the trailer for that, pause this, go and watch it. It's just mind-blowing. But, lots of announcement. But probably the biggest announcement certainly from day one, the Lucasfilm panel, which I got into the streaming stage, the Galaxy stage, which was being thoroughly rocked beforehand and afterwards by our very good chum, Mr. Level Up Leroy.
Indeed.
Big shout out to him. And stage host, who deserves an extra special mention for wearing a Darth Elvis t-shirt on the worldwide live stream on the last day. DJ Aussie Dave. Big thank you, Dave. That was...
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, absolute legend.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the circumstances around that later, but big thank you to him. And so they made an announcement of some more Star Wars films.
Yay!
Yeah. So this film called Return of the Jedi. Oh no, sorry. They did make an announcement about Return of the Jedi, but it wasn't in the Lucasfilm panel. It was in the Return of the Jedi panel. Yeah, so they've announced 3 new Star Wars films. Yeah, so we've got directors confirmed for all 3.
For the moment.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
We've got the next ex Star Wars directors.
Well, hopefully not.
No. So they announced the 3 directors and the projects that they'll be helming. So the first that they announced was James Mangold, who is Lucasfilm's Flavour of the Month, obviously at the moment, having just helmed the new Indiana Jones film, which we also got to see a chunk of, and looks very, very reminiscent of the first 2, certainly. Oh, Greg's little lips going.
I didn't get to see it.
Oh, Greg didn't get to see it. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, we got to see a little snippet of a chase scene.
Around Glasgow, was it?
No, it looked a bit warmer than Glasgow, to be fair.
Is it the one where he goes down a subway station on a horse?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is more. He's on a tuk-tuk. Is that what they call them?
Oh, right, okay.
little motorized rickshaw-y thing, going through the streets of some could be Egyptian sort of that kind of architecture. So yes, so there's and you basically a bit of a classic sort of chase scene, indie chase scene. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see. So he's been announced as helming a film that will go back to an era they're now calling the Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah, I believe it's 25,000 years prior to A New Hope or something. Yes.
Now it's quite interesting that they mentioned that, and then also mentioned that the droid, is it Doctor? Oh, I can't think of his name now. David voice Tennant. The character voiced by David Tennant, who has apparently been helping Jedi build their lightsabers for 25,000 years, and it just seems like, oh, that dovetails quite nicely. So,
Hu Yang.
That's him.
And who also made an appearance in the Ahsoka trailer.
Yes.
So, connective tissues.
Indeed. So, so that's going back to apparently show us like the first person or first beings to discover force powers and go on and become Jedi and set out all those wonderful teachings that Luke was so enamored to that he wanted to burn in the sequel trilogy. So, page turners they are not. But so that was the first film. Then the second film they announced was in the New Republic era, and that's going to be helmed by one Dave Filoni.
Yay!
Yes,
very well deserved. Very well deserved. And apparently, it's going to close out the interconnected stories of The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and other Disney Plus series. Ooh.
So that's interesting. But I think I said this at the show, and I've now seen it sort of quoted in other places. So I'm taking credit for this, but it's the Mando Avengers.
The Mando Avengers.
Mandavengers assemble. So it sounds very much like all of the stories and all of the threads that are sort of being set in all these separate shows are all going to come to some big
climactic ending.
That's it. End game. Mandoverse Endgame. Coming to a cinema near you. So so that sounds clearly like almost that he wants to put to bed some of these characters and sort of move on a little bit. Perhaps a lot's been made of the fact that some of these characters aren't still around by the time of the sequel trilogy. So maybe we get to find out why.
Indeed, that'll be quite exciting. Yes,
indeed.
And I guess the last movie announced was director is Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Yes,
and that film will follow the events of Rise of Skywalker some 15 years later.
I believe that is what they said. Somewhere starting sort of 15 years further on. New Jedi Order.
New Jedi Order. Who came out to discuss that one?
Well, they'd already assembled all of the directors on stage, so that was pretty cool. And you'd got Kathleen Kennedy, and then she says, we kind of felt that who would we want to lead this new Jedi Order? How about Master Rey Skywalker? Daisy Ridley. On walks Daisy in a very, very long red flowing dress, and just went, it's like, okay. So a few months back, there were lots of internet theories going on that apparently Daisy and Kathy had been spotted having lunch, and a lot of people sort of went, "Oh, she's obviously going to be pulled in for a new Star Wars film, continuing Rey's story," and the rest of us sort of went, "Yeah, woman goes for dinner with old boss." Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens. So so that seems, although they've kind of announced them in that order, it does seem almost that the third film is actually the one that's possibly the furthest along.
Yeah. Unless
maybe you've got some of the Mandoverse Avengers stuff being filmed alongside the series.
You also got to wonder if because it was very quiet news-wise around the Taika Waititi's project.
Yes, yeah. So
if you look at the kind of artwork they teased with that, it looked like the Star Wars logo, very caveman-esque, making me think. I always thought, well, it'll be a very early tale in the Star Wars universe, so maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that's
the James Mangold project.
Yeah, interesting indeed. But so we've got 3 new Star Wars films.
Yeah.
Plus all the series. Plus all the series that, again, in the Lucasfilm panel, we got to see the first few minutes of episode 7 of Mando season 3. Nice. So if you haven't seen the rest of season 3 of Mando yet, then this is a bit of a spoiler. But the sort of return of Moff Gideon. So we kind of got to see that first 5-6 minutes of the episode. And then, as we'd kind of speculated and then dismissed because we thought there's no way they're going to do this, they invited us all back on the Thursday evening to watch an advanced screening. Friday evening, to watch an advanced screening of the full episode 7 of Mando, season 3. So that was absolutely mind-blowing, because they were like, look, this is a special treat for you guys. We want people to enjoy the story. We want people to enjoy the highs and lows of the story. You guys are getting this treat because you've come here, you've paid for your tickets and everything else. So please don't spoil it for anybody else. But we wanted to give you something. Here it is. So I think people were like a little bit taken aback of like, what, really?
Yeah.
I think we said in the pre celebration episode, we felt, especially because of the timing of where we were in the series, i.e. the penultimate episode, there was too much at stake for them to do that. But fair play to them.
Well, fair play to everyone that saw it, because I didn't see anyone posting any spoilers.
No, unusually. So certainly not mainstream spoilers. So they might have spoiled things in some deep dark corner of the internet, but
nothing in the mainstream, which was great to see.
Yeah, so if you were there,
hats off, well done.
Round of applause to everybody for keeping the lid on that one for the next few days. Having said that, I didn't have time to do anything at Celebration. It was just that full on. It was like, okay, yeah, be here, do this, go here, over here,
there, everywhere.
Out at night, then back, and then what? So I haven't got time to go and start spoiling stuff on the internet. Not that I would have done, but
no.
But there we go. So
you were out getting drinks with the team and having a bit of a blue milk run.
We did have a few blue milks.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Speaking of blue milks. It's your round. So can you get the blue milk run in, please? Yes, it's next track on tonight's episode is by the excellent Blue Milk Run, track called Run Obi-Wan from their Banter Tracks EP, which you can download or stream or whatever on Bandcamp. Do it this Friday. Do it Friday, May the 5th. I don't know if this show's out at that point, so maybe that might be a bit editing for you there, Carl.
Yeah, if it is out on May the 5th, fingers crossed, then download it today. If not, save it, bookmark it, and download it next Bandcamp Friday, which will be the first Friday in June. Yes, which I think is actually June the 2nd. Thanks to my amazing powers of recall and the fact that I know that I'm gigging that night.
When are you not gigging?
Now!
No. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Blue Milk Run and this track called Run Obi-Wan.
Like you did in the beginning of episode 1. I don't care as long as you cut your hair.
Seriously, what's with the braid?
Obi-Wan, you gotta run faster. Qui-Gon's in a disaster. He's all alone and fighting Darth Maul. Obi-Wan, you gotta run faster. Qui-Gon's in a disaster, and I don't know if he'll make it at all. And I don't understand why you didn't use the Force run like you did in the beginning of episode 1. And I don't care as long as you cut your hair. I don't care, cut your hair.
Good job.
So that was Blue Milk Run with their track Run Obi-Wan. As Greg says, check them out on Bandcamp. And fittingly for Blue Milk Run and Run Obi-Wan, we're now going to talk about some running that happened at Star Wars Celebration. So if you've been to typically Celebration, but also happens at other Star Wars events, I know it's happened at Star Wars Fan Fun Day before now, you may be familiar with the running of the hoods, the legacy. Is it a legacy? Is it a tribute? Whatever it is, it's done in honour of the poor unfortunate Wilro Hood, who during the evacuation of Cloud City, Bespin, is seen running with what was obviously at the time an ice cream maker.
Indeed.
And everybody wondered why this poor bloke was running away with an ice cream maker. That latterly, thanks to Mr. Filoni and the Mandalorian and Mandoverse,
Favreau.
Yes, we now know this to be a Cantona, and it's basically a little safe, or in or in Book of Boba Fett, a smuggling device used to smuggle explosives into the sanctuary. So
now available from Galaxy's Edge.
Now available from Galaxy's Edge for just $49.99 plus sales tax.
Or 3 times that on eBay.
Oh yeah, or 3 times that on eBay. Joking aside, the Galaxy's Edge ones are awesome. I know you got one when we were in Anaheim, and that is one of the least overpriced, coolest bits of merch I've seen.
Because it does exactly like it does in the show. You know, punch in your code at the top, turn the top, and the sides will flap open and reveal your snuck-in burgers that you got from an outside catering company, and not bought in the Excel Centre. No, I never did that. Yeah. Yes. So the running of the hoods. That was
you took part in that. So how did that go?
That was my first time doing the run of the hoods. It's something I've meant to do like forever, especially because I used to have an X-wing pilot costume, and it's that's 25 or 50%, if not 75% of what your costume is. Yeah, it was great fun. Knackered afterwards, sweated bullets. Elliot joined me. I got him a little orange jumpsuit and a moustache and wig as well for doing that. Ran around the convention centre several times, screaming, ice cream, save the rebellion, save the ice cream. We ran around, some of us managed to get onto the Star Wars live stage during the stream. Myself and Elliot were down at the front of the live stage running around. Yes, no, great fun. Group of guys and girls doing that. So I would highly recommend it if you can, to do that sometime. And the amount of Wilro Hood swag I came away with was unbelievable. Like literally patches, stickers, key rings, badges, you name it. I've got heaps of them. So yeah, loved it. It was also nice to see this year the prisoners running.
Yes. So obviously
season 2, episode 6, 7. No Way Out.
Season 1. Season 1.
Yeah, season 1. I was trying to figure the episode number.
Yeah. But yeah, the One Way Out. So we got wind of this via various of the Facebook groups that they wanted to do this, and it seems to have been a real sort of like instant impact. I think certainly a lot of people that are involved in running the hoods, sort of, it's a natural extension of that. Yeah. And I think the fact that the costume is relatively simple, I know a lot of people were sort of making them. There are a couple of the high-end costume makers that do a lot of the sort of 501st stuff and Rebel Legion stuff, have done versions of the costume. But a certain Far East discount website will have been doing an absolute roaring trade.
Still will, because I need to order one.
Yeah, I think the little elves over at AliExpress will have been working double time to knock out their costumes. Which, although the Rebel Legion and 501st have said that those costumes aren't cosplay grade, I think for a lot of people it's a great budget way of getting into cosplaying and certainly being part of the run. Same as running of the hoods, there isn't really a an official grade of costume that you need. You know, a lot of people go for the orange jumpsuits and the wigs and the big 70s moustaches, but then there's all sorts of different permutations. There's a few people who go for possibly one of the laziest cosplays, which is Pink Shorts Boom Guy.
Indeed.
Admittedly, that does take a lot of bottle. And
you ain't getting me doing that.
Yeah, a slightly trim physique possibly required. So you might me as well.
you might catch me in future events doing the crying of the keepers.
Crying of the keepers.
Let's get a corner where we all stand and cry.
Stand there and cry. Yeah. It's there's no running involved, and
very little walking, to be fair. As well.
Yeah, just sort of all huddled with an arm around each other's shoulders, crying. I think that's something we need to get off the ground before Japan. Yeah, I think it's something for Japan. Crying of the keepers, definitely. So
what else happened at Celebration?
What else happened at Celebration? Oh, what didn't happen at Celebration? Everything happened. I don't. The rest of the world didn't exist for like 4 days or whatever it was.
Tell us all about the booth, sir. Tell us about the booth.
So yes, if you were there and you went over to the what was being dubbed as the fan clubs area, so you'd got some awesome displays. You'd got the droid builders with a
phenomenal
massive array of droids, including I'm going to say life size. I don't know if it is actually like film life size, but a very big roving probe droid, which was absolutely awesome. All manner of Star Wars droid, astromechs, BD-1s, there was a DJ Rex,
Giant R2,
yeah, you name it, and sort of themed droids as well. So there was Boba Fett coloured R2, and all shapes, sizes, colours, variations. Fantastic work goes into those. So there was some really good photo ops, and a lot of the team there to really sort of get involved, and sort of talk to people about what they do, and if people are interested in perhaps building their own droids, how you get into it and things like that. So that was pretty cool. You got the Rebel Legion and the 501st as well, with a massive area which had got all sorts of little photo ops and stuff. Speeder bike and 3PO on the throne from Endor, and a few Ewoks.
Emperor's Throne in the room.
Emperor's Throne, Tantive 5 corridor.
Max Rebo
in a little cantina bar. There was a IG-11 and a little prison.
Yeah.
So all sorts of photo ops around there. And then the Saber Guild were around that area as well. There was an ATST, albeit I think it was the ATST Marauder, wasn't it? From Mando. And it wasn't, although it was still quite big, it wasn't film size, because over in the hall by the live stage you'd got the full-size Endor bunker and an ATST, and that was massive.
And not forgetting as well the Mando Mercs, obviously.
Mando Mercs as well were there.
I've got a bit of a bone to pick with them, but we'll cover that a bit later.
Oh. Careful, because they are bounty hunters.
Well, they collected their bounty. That's the problem, you see.
Yeah,
talk about that later.
So there was all those sorts of things, and then a lot of the sort of the fan groups. So Dutch Garrison and people like that had got tables, and they were all partaking in a sort of collecting swag patch build. So you had to go to various of the groups at various times during the convention to pick up all the different parts for the jigsaw patch. So that was pretty cool. And whilst we've been talking about running, just like to say massive shout out to the running stormtrooper, Jez Allinson, a good friend of ours, who was running for the whole of Celebration. I can't remember this target he set for Celebration, but I think it was something like trying to raise £10,000.
He smashed it. Yeah,
he absolutely smashed it. And the poor guys from our friends over at Generation Skywalker were working out how on the Sunday evening they got a very, very, very heavy treadmill right the way across the convention centre from the fan club zone to the live stage, because the live stage wanted Jez to do the last bit of his run to meet his target during the day on the Monday, so that he hit the target live on stage. So massive thanks to him and everybody that supported him. I think he was raising money again for Make-A-Wish, so a really, really good cause, and great to see that he smashed the target, and the recognition was there as well from the convention organisers to big it up even more. So that was really nice to see. But also part of that fan club zone was the inaugural outing of the Fantha Tracks booth, which is very lovely, designed by Mr. Paul Naylor.
Well done, sir.
Yes. So it was like a 6-7 foot tall. It can't be 6 foot because I'm 6 foot and it was bigger than me. 7-8 foot tall curved banner with the big Fantha Tracks logos on and lots of QR codes so you can scan and get to the Facebook pages and all that sort of stuff, and all of the logos that we have associated with the various podcasts, and there's even one now for Fantha Tracks TV.
Nice.
Yes, featuring a family of Fanthas sat on a sofa, which is in no way linked to a family of yellow cartoon characters that sit on a sofa and watch the TV.
Absolutely not. Nothing like that.
Yeah,
nothing
absolutely
like
nothing like it at all. There was lots and lots and lots of swag to give out, not only pin badges of each of the shows, but also a Celebration exclusive, which was B2 Emo, but sort of mashed up with a red telephone box.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Obviously being London. So, those were flying out. Really, really popular with visitors to the show, and a very popular swag item. So, if you manage to get your hands on any of the exclusive Fantha swag, well done.
Well done. Yeah, it was all gone very quickly, wasn't it?
It was.
Scooped up.
That's
and also
literally like hot cakes.
Yes, and also in the general vicinity of the fan group area was the Galactic Senate stage.
It was. That was the sort of the main area for a lot of the fan club groups to present. So you'd got little talks and demonstrations by the Sabre Guild and some of the costuming groups doing talks on how to get started in costuming and things like that. And then a pair of chancers called Carl and Greig invaded.
Saturday evening.
Saturday evening, 5:30, just as everybody wanted their tea. We did a live one.
Did a live one with special guests, Andy from
very special guests, yes.
Yeah, Mark from Ash. Yes, and a nice little audience we had as well.
Yes,
So thanks to everyone that turned up and watched this.
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
Bumble about.
Bimble about. Talk about how music got us into all sorts of scrapes and Star Warsiness. So you've got Andy talking about, how sort of Blues Harvest have gone from playing at a convention, the Star Wars Family Fun Day in Blackburn, to playing at the pop-up launch event for Mando Season 3 with Pedro Pascal and Jon Favreau in attendance.
Giving it the thumbs up.
Giving it the thumbs up, which was very cool, and has now been immortalised by some Blues Harvest fans who presented the band with T-shirts with a picture of Pedro from the event with his thumbs up, and just says "Pedro approves."
Very cool.
which is very cool. So you've got that journey. You'd obviously got yourself talking about your own journey. So it all sounds a bit X Factor, doesn't it? Your journey through musical fandom from again, starting out doing small conventions and bits here and there, through to playing the Bash.
I guess my first gig, as I mentioned, that wasn't such a small convention. It was a very steep convention we were standing at the time. But
Battle of the Bands in 2007 at Celebration, but to have that, and we'll come on to the performance at this year's Celebration, or around this year's Celebration, a bit later. But to sort of have Darth Elvis's career charted through Star Wars Celebrations was really cool. And then obviously you've got Mark from Ash, who their career has been sort of entwined with Star Warsiness, from the TIE Fighter screeching before a single note from the band is heard on their debut album, through to playing the Ep1 rap party and them being let loose around Skywalker Ranch, which is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Republic Commando, obviously, were clones.
Yeah. So that was all really, really cool. And sadly, the audio from that was a little bit too noisy, and it remains a bit like Kurt, mine, and Paul's appearance at Boonta Eve. If you were there, you were there, and you're part of history. If you weren't, unfortunately, we can't share the audio with you because it's just too horrible. No. Noise-wise, the talking and stuff's great. honestly, but because the Senate stage was actually out on the main show floor, it's the background noise and stuff was just too bad, and even with some clever audio processing and filtering and stuff like that, it wasn't really voices weren't loud enough to make it an acceptable release on our part. So sorry about that, folks.
Sorry, folks.
But we'll try harder next time.
Indeed. So, apart from celebration-wise, we'll talk about some of the swag and some of the things we purchased.
Yeah. So you've already mentioned that you did rather well out of the old Wilro Hood run. So what other swag items did you manage to procure?
That's how to think, actually. Obviously, Level Up Leroy patches.
Yes.
Blues Harvest patches. Some excellent Shore Trooper patches from friends from Madrid. Yeah, got lots of cool patches, some cool stickers and badges. Say the Fan for Tracks one. With hashtag Cantina, obviously purchased the hashtag Cantina T-shirt, the classic Nirvana style logo,
Space Goblin
with a Space Goblin on it. So, not IP dodging. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I think swag wise, trying to think if there's anything else exciting. Yeah, no, that was pretty much the World of Hood one was the stuff that really took me back, because that was the generosity of everyone involved in the World of Hood run. they were making sure everyone there who was taking part got a piece of swag, a sticker, a badge, a key ring, a patch, whatever it was they had. So that was great, and Elliot really appreciated that as well. But being his first time at Celebration, he was blown away. What about yourself, sir? Any swag?
Well, yeah, I did quite well. I did spend a good chunk of Friday and again another chunk of Saturday afternoon at the booth in the fan club zone. And although we were giving out stuff freely to anybody that came and had a bit of a chat, and if you did come and have a chat to any of us, but certainly to myself, thank you. It was really nice chatting to fans, not only of Star Wars, but a lot of listeners to the podcast network. So if you're listening to this now, again, thank you. And we got some new listeners out of it. I hope. Certainly a couple of people who came back having seen me on the Friday and said, "Oh, yeah, we downloaded the latest show last night, which was The Last Desert Planet, and we were listening to it sort of last night and again this morning." So thank you to those people. And but I say, although we were giving away the our swag freely, there were a lot of people who were only too willing to trade. So we got what did I get? There's some really cool. There's a young lady by the name of Lisa who we met in Anaheim, who has a cosplay Bantha.
Oh, right. She was in Chicago as well. Yeah, I remember meeting her in Chicago.
Yes.
Lisa May Fong, I think.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah,
so she was there. She didn't have the Bantha with her because it's a bit of a big item to fly over. But she got lots of swag. So some little bracelets, which I picked up one for my daughter because it's in a sort of cyan blue colour, which is one of her favourite colours. So she had one of those and a badge, and she's also got an absolutely awesome Bantha tattoo on her left shoulder. So that's taking your Fantha Tracks fandom to a whole new level, folks. Of course, the tattoo parlour was just around the corner as well. So if I don't know if anybody did get a Fantha Tracks tattoo that weekend, but if not, why not?
If you got a Darth Elvis one, apologies. Laser surgery might be able to correct that for you.
Yeah. But so there was a lot of people sort of, happily trading quite a few Andor themed bits. A few sort of One Way Out and Narkina 5 swim team type, those sort of along those sort of lines, and a lot of sort of vintage toy. There's one guy who got patches of some of the old Kenner and Palatoy type adverts, really, really detailed, like quite big patches, and those are pretty cool. But yeah, so anybody that traded stuff or gave me stuff, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have a little sort of Celebration 2023 memory box that I've put all my stuff in, and my entrance badges and all that sort of stuff. So
nice.
Yeah. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. It seems to have become more of a focus, and I think perhaps is actually becoming, sort of more what people were going for than, because in the run up to the show, we obviously had all the, hassle over people that couldn't get tickets and couldn't get into the panels and stuff like that. But talking to fans on the ground, as it were, it was really, everybody seemed to be having a really, really cool time.
Yeah.
And enjoying the show for what they could do, for what they could get out of it. So, yeah.
What about purchases, Says? What did you purchase at...
What did I purchase?
I was fairly well behaved. I bought a few things, but...
I was actually better behaved than I thought. I did manage to pick up the New Hope C-style poster, which is one of my favourite posters. And it fits perfectly into the poster frames that I got. Woo!
Nice.
About 12 months ago, which the original version of that poster that I had didn't fit in. So I tried to cut it down and did a bad job of it, and it just looked wrong and slightly wonky. So getting a poster that actually fit the right frame was pretty darn good. I managed to get one of the Roosevelt's Stormtrooper shirts. So Roosevelt's had 3 show exclusive shirts. The Friday was a purple Endor Ewok pattern. Mm-hmm. The Saturday was the Stormtrooper kind of comic pop art. Very loud, very in your face, and very me. And then the Sunday was an Endor camo sort of pattern. And I've got to admit, going to some of the events on the evenings and things like that, there's a lot of Roosevelt's fans, certainly at Celebration. And I think that speaking to the guys from Roosevelt's, they were absolutely blown away by the response to their presence, and had massively, in their own words, massively underestimated the popularity and the sheer love for the product and the brand. And even by sort of late on the Saturday, they were down to very limited sizes in a lot of the shirt ranges that they had bought over, and they'd literally just got the show exclusive shirts that they weren't, they were sticking to the one a day on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think by the Monday, it was almost like, come along and you can have part of the stand.
Nothing else left for you.
Yeah. The only thing they got left by middle of Monday was the little drinks koozies. Yeah. And they'd been selling those, and then they got to the point where I don't know if people just weren't buying them or what, but it was like, if you sign up to our like Roosevelt's Insiders Facebook group or whatever, scan this QR code and you can get a free koozie.
Nice. So I was already in the group, so I went up, look, I'm already in there, and I can't scan the code. And he went, oh, cool, thank you. Yeah.
And he went, oh, and you bought a shirt as well. So cool, there you go. Oh, okay, thank you. So so I've got a little drink koozie as well. So, and then I also bought merch from Cantina, #Cantina 2. Yes, which I'd kind of set my stall out, quite literally, as you will find out later. But that was one of the things I wanted to make sure I'd got money saved back for some of the Cantina merch. So I managed to. I'll go into more detail later, but basically I was helping run the merch stand. So there was no trickery or jeopardy involved. It was like I was there as soon as I could buy it. I was like, right, I'm having that, and that. So I again got the Nirvana Space Goblin t-shirt. The Ash had done. Mark had come up with an Ash design, which was basically Ash 1977, and then a Death Star and some TIE fighters. So that was a Cantina exclusive design, and then there was the Cantina event logo, which is the T was like a Mando helmet, So I got one of those as well. So yeah, and
Nice.
then I also somehow managed to acquire T-shirts from all of the supporting acts.
Yeah.
So, a Darth Elvis T-shirt, a Blues Harvest T-shirt, a DJ Level Up Leroy T-shirt. Oh, and I did get into the Celebration store as well. And what did I get from the Celebration store? I got I got a Narkina 5, property of Narkina 5 T-shirt.
Nice.
And the Ahsoka show logo
Cool.
T-shirt. So yeah, so basically I actually got more clothing from Celebration than I took to wear at Celebration.
Well, packing light, weren't you? It's a sensible thing to do.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't plan it like that though. But
I should have planned it like that. I mean, I took a different Roosevelt shirt for every day I was there.
yeah.
And then obviously bought more Roosevelt shirts whilst I was there. As you know, I'm a bit of a fanboy.
Yes.
So I got the Friday exclusive and the Saturday exclusive, the purple and the Stormtrooper, and from the shop I got the Endor windbreaker jacket.
Oh
the
yes,
camouflage jacket, and of course the program, because I always buy a program guide when I'm there at Celebration. And that was pretty much it, apart from the Cantina T-shirt. So yeah, it's quite well behaved. Elliot was buying Micro Galaxy ships and all sorts of things with his money. So yeah, he's fallen in love with that. And but since he's come back with those, my younger two boys have both fallen in love with them. So they've started buying them as well. So
very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so
we were having a chat with the guys from it's Jazzwares, isn't it?
Jazzwares, yeah.
So they're that range is proving really, really, really popular. It's kind of like the old Micro Machines, but just really, really cool. And
lots of detail.
Yeah, some of the displays that they got, with like the AT-ATs and snow speeders and stuff like that, was really, really smart.
Yeah, it was incredible. Really good job.
Yeah.
So, shall we have some music?
Yes.
So, it's been a while since I think we featured this gentleman on the show, but he's got many, many, many incredible recordings. This one came out just prior to Celebration, I believe. This is It's Like Poetry by Royish Good Looks, and you can find the video for this on YouTube. As always, you can find his music on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming services, Bandcamp, etc. So please go and support him. Go and download the tunes. Go and listen to it. Go watch the video. This is It's Like Poetry.
I hear a voice calling out, telling me the time is now, and these are only my first steps on the path that lies ahead. There's a larger world waiting far from home, and deep inside I've always known I'm gonna fulfill my destiny. I'm gonna make my mark on this this is Royish Good Looks, and you're listening to Desert Planet Discs.
Royish Good Looks there with It's Like Poetry, a statement made by the maker himself, George Lucas, and we're just talking all about Celebration, which is, of course, celebrating the love of all things Star Wars and created by George. So thank you. And don't forget to support Royish Good Looks. As Greg mentioned, all the usual streaming sites, Bandcamp, and he's got a Patreon site as well. So if you want to get involved and support him via Patreon, I'm sure he'd be only too happy. So, yeah. So, there is a little blue Max Rebo elephant in the room. We haven't yet talked about. Obviously,
is it the Martin Keeler? Is it the Martin Keeler?
You can't call him a blue Max Rebo elephant. You'll make him cry.
No, but it's, we haven't talked about him yet.
We haven't talked about him. No, and the sheer joy that was bestowed upon him at Celebration by the appearance of the one and only Constable Zuvio.
Oh no, my word. Sunday morning, I went into Celebration and then came face to face with Constable Zuvio.
Zuvio, yeah.
I was like, oh my word.
Awesome. That was absolutely awesome. And Martin, who was, again, working as part of the Show Before the Show team and working on behind the scenes on the Celebration stage, got to have his picture taken with Constable Zuvio. I've still yet to find out whether that Constable Zuvio costume and mannequin actually made it back to the Lucasfilm storage or wherever it was, or whether it's now somewhere in the, should we call it Greater London area to be not too specific?
As it said in Indiana Jones, it belongs in a museum.
Yeah, indeed. It does belong in a museum. So, yeah, that was absolutely awesome. But of course, long time listeners to the show will know that Martin was one of the three amigos that put together the some would say foolish, some would say ambitious, but I think everybody who attended would say possibly one of the highlights of Celebration. #Cantina 2 at the Indigo 2 at the O2 Dome. Yes, just the other side of the river from the XL, which was a really enjoyable cable car ride.
It was good fun, wasn't it? That was over.
Yeah, it was nothing like I expected it. It was kind of a bit like flying.
Yeah.
And just not at all nowhere near as clunky or like mechanically as I expected. So that was really good fun. But yeah, what a night! What a night!
What a day! It was just
what a day! Yes, because obviously for yourself performing,
yeah, you
were there early doors, getting all the sound checking and
loading of. Staging
and setup and all that kind of thing, and obviously with Martin being a chum, I'd volunteered my services to help out in whatever way I could during the day. Again, in the setup of the event and everything else. So as I mentioned earlier, apart from nearly passing out trying to blow up giant inflatable Death Stars. So if you were at Cantina and you were playing, I'm not kidding you, there must have been 4-foot round inflatable Death Stars. Those were lovingly hand blown up by myself, Dave Tree, Mark Hamilton's girlfriend's brother, James.
A little bit by me until I realised I should probably be saving my breath.
Yes. A little bit of Darth Elvis went into one of those Death Stars. If you'll pardon the expression. That just sounds smutty.
Filthy.
Filthy. filthy.
The fact that I brought my own Death Star along with me, an inflatable one,
Yeah.
and then blew it up and then saw the size of the ash one, I just left it backstage.
Yeah.
Greg's
Death Star was like about the size of a football. And
I had definite Death Star envy.
Yeah. So those were fairly hefty and not at all fun to blow up. I say at one point, I think I just about finished one particular period of blowing into it. Tried to stand up and nearly fell over. I was like, oh, got a little bit giddy. So that wasn't too clever, but and then we set up the merch stand, which, I mean, as anybody that was there will have seen, it was quite an impressive spread.
Indeed.
You'd got obviously all of Ash's merch, so vinyl, t-shirts, varying designs from varying tours. You've got all the event merch, so the three aforementioned t-shirts. There was a button badge pack and
signed posters.
The event poster signed by all three members of Ash. I think that was it for Cantina merch, and then you got Blues Harvest with a couple of t-shirts, mainly one design, and then a couple of their previous t-shirt designs, like literally ones and twos of those. The beautiful new Darth Elvis and Friends t-shirts with the logo designed by the far too talented Mr. Andy Lith.
And available to buy on the Bandcamp page.
Available to buy from Darth Elvis's Bandcamp page.
Indeed.
Terms and conditions may apply. And then the Level Up Leroy also got t-shirts for sale, and we'd also got a variety of patches. So Level Up Leroy had got a really nice, it's like a Millennium Falcon with the sort of round bit as a record. The Darth Elvis Last Dang patch with
available on Bandcamp.
also available via the Bandcamp page, which was again another beautifully rendered image of Darth Elvis in carbonite.
Yeah,
we'll find out why shortly. And a couple of different Blues Harvest patches. One of them all in a land speeder, which was really cool and very popular.
Yeah.
And so and then a sort of round logo patch. I think it's the Rebel. Is it Rebel Phoenix with the guitar?
Yeah, with a guitar instead of the middle.
Yeah.
Point, yeah.
So the merch stand, as I say, without wishing to blow my own trumpet, ably manned by myself and lovely gentleman by the name of Jono for the evening, and hopefully you got whatever merch you were after if you were at the event. If not, then I say Greg's merch is now available via Bandcamp. I think if you go to the This Is Cantina page as well, there's a link to get some of the remaining Cantina merch as well. Although
it's also a Bandcamp page.
Okay. So that's also on Bandcamp, and if you are interested, don't hang about, because some of that merch is literally flying out using its winged space goblin ears.
Yeah, you want to go to cantina2.bandcamp.com.
There you go. So that's where the remaining Cantina merch is available. So if you want a little piece of the action, if you were too busy on the night, or maybe a little bit overcome by the events of the evening and missed out, then get yourself over to Bandcamp and see what there is still left.
I was just going to say, Blues Harvest are also selling the balance of their merchandise. It is available on their Sum Up store, which is blues-harvest.sumupstore.com.
Ah, there we go. So all available.
Yes, get your purchases in while stock lasts, ladies and gentlemen.
While stocks last, indeed. But so I had quite a different view of Cantina. To say the merch stand was really, really busy all night, but it was really, really good fun. Again, spoke to a few, spoke to lots of people, but spoke to a few people who came up and went, "Are you Carl?" Yes, unless you're the tax man, in which case, no. And they were listeners who had come up to buy some Darth Elvis merch and recognised me from the voice, obviously. So that was pretty cool. And we were, myself and Jono batting t-shirts and merch out like nobody's business, and by all accounts, a roaring trade was done.
Yeah, sterling job from both of you. But the night itself was just incredible. Obviously, so many people involved to put it together. But hats off to the Martin Keeler, the legendary Jed Shepherd of Host and Multiplex and Dashcam fame. He's got a bright future ahead of him, that one.
Yes.
And of course, Mark Hamilton from ASU, the three amigos who organised the event. But what a great night it was, and well done to Level Up Leroy kicking off proceedings. Outstanding DJ set from Leroy as always, with the sort of video geek mashup background. Brilliant. He was playing himself and Elliot. DJ Elliot from, again, did a sterling job at Celebration, but also a great set at Hashtag Cantina 2. They both DJ'd from a pod racer, which was a nice setup on the stage. Obviously, Blues Harvest did a sterling job, walked on stage by the Mando Mercs. So big thanks to the Mando Mercs. But I do have a bone to pick with the Mando Mercs.
Oh.
So as I was on my last song, which, as many of you will know, it was the last Darth Elvis performance live in public. There might be some private shows, but for the moment, it's the last public performance from Darth Elvis. And singing Sarlacc Pit, my last song, just got into the last section of the song, when the Mando Mercs came on stage. And they walked me off the stage whilst they were still singing and proceeded to freeze me in carbonite.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that makes singing difficult.
It does make singing difficult. So, yes, I was frozen in carbonite. So, yes, I've got a bone to pick with those Mando Mercs. But, yes, great job from the Mando Mercs. Great job from the Joker Squad.
Joker Squad as well, yeah.
Fantastic costumes. I got some pictures with many of them backstage and up by the merch stand early on before doors opened. I think they provided the background staging as well.
Yeah.
The pod racer. Great work from them. And of course, Ash playing a blinding set as always. Alliance agents, Leanne and her team, and obviously all the guest signers. Fantastic having them there.
Yeah.
Just a magical night.
It was like a mini convention in itself.
Yeah, it was like the best parts of a convention and the best parts of a festival.
Yeah, absolutely
merged together.
It was really, really good fun. I say, where the merch stand was, we couldn't see the stage, but we could hear everything, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, the night was then rounded off by the exclusive VIP after show hosted by Fantatrax.
Yes, indeed, with Atomic Blonde DJing.
With Atomic Blonde DJing. So, that was pretty cool. I sort of zipped in and out of that because I was still helping sort of pack away and sort bits out. And however, one person I did speak to at the after party was the aforementioned DJ Aussie Dave, who also came over to the merch stand just after you had been frozen in carbonite. And he was obviously there as part of the show before the show team. So was with Elliot's wife, Lindsay, and a few of the crowd. And he following your performance, he came out and he went, "That was absolutely amazing. What Darth Elvis merch have you got?" I cannot believe that this is the guy's last performance. He said, "It's just absolutely blown me away." And I'm like, "Right, okay." He's going, "A t-shirt, right. I'll have a t-shirt. I will wear this t-shirt tomorrow on the Galaxy stage when we do the live roundup and they cut to our stage. I will be wearing this Darth Elvis t-shirt." and I'm like, "That's absolutely awesome." And yeah. I think I ran over and told you, and I was like, "However, it might be one of those, I've had a few drinks, I'm going to do this, you're my best friend in the world ever." But no, fair play to the guy, true to his word. Live at the Galaxy stage, live stream part of the event. He comes on rocking the Darth Elvis tee. So
legend. Thank you, Aussie Dave.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Aussie Dave, and of course, Level Up Leroy. The Galaxy stage was. I know. Yeah, a lot of people sort of go, "Oh yeah, it's just a streaming stage." The atmosphere. I didn't get into the celebration stage for any of the panels, and for the ones I did go to, I managed to get. I went to the Doug Chang panel on the Monday, which was right before the closing ceremony, basically because I can't tell the time. And I thought this is a bit early to be going for the closing ceremony, but hey, and lo and behold, I went, "Oh, and coming up next, we've got Doug Chang," which was absolutely awesome panel, and he sort of went into loads and loads and loads of stuff about designing stuff for Mando Season 3 and Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff. So, and lots of little nods in there to stuff like James Bond and things like that. And, how Mando Season 3 was really, again, we always talk about, these circular events in Star Wars. And, Mando Season 3, he's got the Naboo N1, which is a project that Doug worked on and a design Doug worked on way back for the Phantom Menace, and now it's come full circle and it's back in Mando Season 3. So,
yeah, brilliant.
Really nice. And, battle droids and super battle droids and things like that. So, all designs that he was involved in back in the day, and reprising their place in the Star Wars universe. So that was really cool. But yeah, the Galaxy stage was really, really, really good fun.
Yeah.
Next time you go to a celebration, yes, if you're in the room for some of these big panels, the Lucasfilm panel and things like that, yeah, it's great. You're in the room with 4,500 other people, or whatever the capacity of the main stage is, but there is no less of an experience in those streaming stages. It's every bit as much fun, and there were people in there that had basically after the first day decided, even if I could get into the other stages, I'm coming back to the Galaxy stage because it's just been so much fun. And there was a lot of people in there by the time they got to the closing ceremony that had been in there literally every day and been up and spoken to Leroy and Aussie Dave and helped make their celebration.
Yeah, if you've seen Leroy DJ before, you know how much magic and energy and stuff he puts into his tunes, and
he was losing his voice every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a great guy, not just what he does, but it's off stage as well. He's just one of the loveliest guys you could ever hope to meet. And Aussie Dave is very much in the same ilk, I think. So I did, you'd spoken to me and he'd spoken to you. I did cover the VIP entrance for a wee while, and he came through and I had a bit of a double take looking at me and says, "Are you Darth Elvis?" I was like, "Yeah." And then and he told me that he was going to wear a t-shirt, and he'd have to ask Lindsay, Elliot's wife, if it was going to be okay. I think Lindsay actually wore a Darth Elvis t-shirt as well. Not the same one, obviously, but I think she wore a Darth Elvis t-shirt. So yes, that was nice. Darth Elvis love. And when I came to the merch stand after the end of the night, it was lovely speaking to people and just having them share their love and stuff for the show. It was quite an emotional night for me, final gig and all that. Yeah, it was. But what a night to go out on, and I knew that was going to be the case with Cantina 2, having the first Cantina being my favourite gig to that point. But I think Cantina 2 just knocked it out of the park even more.
Yeah, and the feedback from people generally as well. You know, not just people that we know.
Yeah,
the feedback we've seen online. A couple of people said, you know, Cantina was possibly the best gig I've ever been to until tonight, and now Cantina 2 is the best gig I've ever been to, and the second is Cantina. So the magic and the secret sauce is in the minds of Martin, Mark, and Jed, and on behalf of myself, Greg, everybody else involved, thank you guys for having the sheer madness to try and do this, and guts to do this again and go, what could we do to make it better? Let's do it bigger. And it was absolutely awesome.
It'd be remiss of me as well not to say thanks very much to all the staff at the Indigo, the sound guys, you know, the behind the stage teams, the bar staff, just everyone, the security, they were all fantastic, and just helped add to a magical night that, you know, everyone was on the ball with everything. So thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
what a way to go out.
Indeed.
But if it was a Cantina 3, no one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone, and that's the beauty of Carbonite. You might be blind for the first half of the set, but you can always unfreeze people. So who knows? Who knows?
I'll keep my number in speed dial, gents.
Yeah.
Right.
But in working the merch stand, I also got to talk to lots and lots and lots of the fans that came through. And two of those fans were Will Arnold and Robin Eggs Benedict, who hail from Illinois in the USA, and handed me some rather lovely swag, which was a sort of fold-out poster fanzine of lots of different punk album covers, but reworked to incorporate Max Rebo and his band, and some lovely stickers of Max Rebo and Pogues and things like that, all punked up and slightly musicy. And they went, and if you scan this QR code, you'll get to hear the song that we've recorded. And I was like, you do not realise you have just handed this piece of merch to possibly one of the best people. Blown my own trumpet there a little bit, but that sounded like the Ewoks. And proceeded to explain about the fact that I do this show, and that obviously because they were so lovely and bought some Darth Elvis merch and Blues Harvest merch, and some Cantina merch. They bought a lot of merch. I said the least I can do is play the song, and they went, "You haven't even heard it yet. it's really rubbish. I'm like, no. There is no such thing. Anybody that puts together any sort of Star Wars music, we support you and we applaud you, and we want to showcase you and what you've done. So here they are. This is Will Arnold. He's at Will Arnold on Facebook or on Instagram at t.will.arnold. So this is the Rebones with Twin Sons Bop.
To hide their numbers from spies, easily startled sand guys, twin sons pop. They're piling in the speeder, they're generating moisture. Tatashi for converters, twin sons pop. Rebo, throw them in the pit now. Rancor comes, ease their bones. Jabba laughs and Mandalorians go. Snoodles looking way fine. Droopy's fluting in time. And up is on the drum line. Twin sons pop. Rebo's piling him into Red Ball. Just wailing with your yowza. While Lockwood keeps the beat going. Twin sons pop. Rebo, throw him in the pit now. Rancor comes, ease their bones. Jabba laughs and Gamorreans go. The German do empty neck, and Jedi Rox is on deck. Then Galactic Empire is next. Twin sons pop. They're sailing on the Dune Sea to kill Luke Han and Chewie, but soon they all will break free. Twin sons pop.
And that was Rebones with Twin Sons Bop there. Thanks again. Carl was kind enough to hand me some of your swag as well. And I must say, absolutely fantastic artwork. Love it. And as a Ramones fan, I really dig the recording. So, well done, guys. Good job. And if you got any other tracks coming, please send them our way. We'll be happy to play them on the show. So, yeah. Carl, that takes us to the end of our celebration #Katina wrap-up show.
It does.
Hashtag Katina 2, very much the highlight of Star Wars Celebration for me. But another highlight, I want to give mad props to my Celebration family, obviously the Phantom Trackers, but also my buddies John, Dale and Roddy, who I go to celebrations with a lot. But what really blew me away was seeing good friend Paul McHugh in the flesh and getting to spend some time with Paul again, because I haven't seen him since Chicago. It was fantastic seeing him. He brought warm feelings to my heart. So that was very much a highlight as well, was #Katina 2. So and we're planning a little trip, I think. Me and Paul, we're going to hopefully go to Glen Tilt in the coming months to visit one of the Andor locations.
Very nice.
In fact, as I say that, I need to ping him a message and see how he got on, because he was going to the dam, which just popped out of my head.
Oh, and Terror? Is it something?
Glen Cruachan Dam.
Yes.
Cruachan Dam. He was going there this weekend, I think, so I need to touch base and see how he got on.
See if he saw the eye.
Yeah, see if he saw the eye, indeed. Not to be confused with my gammy eyes after a certain gig with Sci-Fi Weekender with the Harris gentleman. Thankfully my eyes are coming back to normal and the COVID's gone, so we're all fighting fit.
That's it.
But yes, that was it for me. Highlights: Cantina 2 and Mr. McHugh.
Yeah.
That rhymed.
Yes. Yeah. Likewise. Hanging out with the Fantha family and getting to see some of the newer members of the team. Some of whom will be coming to Good Morning Tatooine very, very, very shortly.
Ooh.
And seeing Paul again, not seen him. I wasn't even in Chicago, so I haven't seen him for even longer. But great to see him. Great to have him back on board. And yeah, Cantina 2. I think Martin, Jed, and Mark said on our Cantina special what they wanted to do was under promise and over deliver. And boy, did you over deliver, boys! It was just brilliant. So if Japan's a possibility, who knows?
If you need a merch guy, give.
If you need a merch guy, I'm very, very, very reasonable. But until next time, that's about it.
Yeah.
So it's a hot dang from me,
and it's a hot dang from him. Hot dang.
Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Fantha Tracks app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fanthatracks.com. Comment, like and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantha Tracks, and be sure to subscribe, leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fanthatracks.com/radio, home of Fantha Tracks Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantha Tracks, and bookmark fanthatracks.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.
Come back soon, I'll be waiting.